Welcome to day 2 of Bahamas with Bob. We're at the Island House Invitational Triathlon. We're sponsored by Island House, Cervelo, Gatorade Endurance. Our official charity is More Than Sport, and you can check us out on our Babbittville YouTube channel, on Babbittville Radio. My next guest, Mr. Tim Don. Wait, Tim, you were third here last year, on the podium.
I was, yeah, kissing the guns. Yeah, had a great time last year.
It was fun, huh?
In a weird way, it was hard, but yeah, no, it was awesome fun. I mean, you know, it's a unique format that I haven't raced for 10 years.
Yes.
Against some real fast boys and strong boys. So yeah, no, I had a blast. Yeah.
As a guy who comes from ITU, 3-time Olympian, being able to sort of get back to your roots a little bit because you've stepped up to 70.3 and Ironman to have a bunch of the ITU folks here last year. Was that fun for you?
It was fun, but
hard.
It's never fun racing Javier.
Yeah, right.
You know, and Richard's chomping at the bit. You know, 4th at the Olympics this year. So obviously last year he was one of the guys. But yeah, it was exciting, and I was chuffed I could mix it with them to a degree.
Yeah. Well, getting third, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
This year's format's a little different. Because there's more TT involved, the time trial tomorrow, the finals on Sunday is a sprint distance race, non-drafting. Do you like this?
I do. I mean, yeah, I think it will still plan out very similar.
Yeah.
You know, I think, you know, the ITU guys, you know, they've had longer to prepare for this. Most of the 70.3 Ironman guys are coming from Kona 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
Those guys had the grand final 6 to 8 weeks ago. And they're very good at preparing for specific races, while we're generally very good at getting fit and strong, hitting a few 70.3s. And then our big focus is always Kona, maybe 70.3 Worlds, which is it's an 8-hour race, not an hour race, you know, a 2-hour race and then another hour race. So I think, yeah, it's going to be different. I think the first day is going to be really telling with the everything being individual. You know, as opposed to last year, we just did a 20-minute race, you know, back to back. So yeah, it should be interesting.
When you're just coming off of your second Kona, I think it was your second Kona. Now that you've been there a couple times, what are your thoughts on that event?
You know, like everyone says, it's a brutal race. It's a brutal day. I don't think it's particularly one thing. I just think it's the heat, it's the humidity, it's the fact it's so late in the season.
Level of
it's
competition.
The deepest field there will ever be every year, regardless of what other races say. It's the extra pressure from the sponsors. It's that week leading up to it that you don't have in normal races. It's the fact it's quite awkward to get to, whether you're from America or Europe.
Coming from England, wherever you're coming from.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think all of those things, you know, you need to respect, and you need a bit of luck on the day. I think anyone that's got a top 10, you know, can get a top 5 on another day. You know, and I think if any of those guys are having awesome days, there's a fair few that could honestly get on the podium, but they don't. And you know, I think there's such an emphasis from the global triathlon community on getting on that podium that it's brutal when you finish fourth to 15th, even 20th. You know, you're still a pretty solid athlete in my book.
Not quite. Well, I mean, Ben Hoffman was 15th one year and second the next year. So I mean, there's 25 guys there, I think, or 30, who feel they could be top 10.
Yeah. And I just feel that lots of them don't get the respect they deserve from a performance in Kona. You know, one of the British guys, he went the fastest ever that any British person has ever gone in Kona, and I think he was 13th. I think he ran maybe a low 250 marathon. You know, David McNamee was flying, yet if I said, hey, do you know David McNamee? They'd go, no, who's he? I go, well, he got 30 Yan in Lanzarote. You know, he top 15 in Kona 2 years on the road, got the quickest run last year.
Yeah, he went 245 last year.
Something crazy quick. Yeah. So, I think I'd love to see more kudos and, you know, shout out to everyone who, you know, all the pros, not just the podium guys and girls.
The hard part about that race is if you don't finish the top 10, you basically lost money going there.
Yeah, you lost. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you lost obviously the travel, the accommodation, but also the other races you might have done, the 270.3s or the other Ironman. Because it is but you know, I think anyone that accepts their spot, you know, whether it's whether you're, you know, someone like Jan, a two-time defending champion for next year, or someone who's just qualified, if you're accepting that spot, that's a risk that you've decided to take. And, you know, it does frustrate me that when people say, oh no, I'm out of pocket, and I'm like, but everyone who starts on that start line as a pro knows that there's a chance that could happen.
Right.
And it's a decision.
It's an investment.
It is. It's
an
investment.
You sort of need to be there.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, you just got to take it on the chin and learn from it. And if you decided Kona's not for you the next year, then don't do it. But
Exactly.
come on, guys.
Quit whining.
Exactly.
So how tough was it for you? Because the one thing about the ITU racing is you race all the time, right? You go from one week to another, and when you're talking about, I know a lot of guys are doing 70.3s like they're an ITU race, but it's still a 13-mile run. Yeah. Has that been tough for you to not race? You're a racer. It seems like you really love the race.
Oh, I love it. I love the hustle and bustle. I love the banter before the race.
Yes.
And the thing with the ITU is there were 50 to 80 guys on every start line. There were probably 25 guys who did all of the races and would literally go from one hotel 2 weeks later to another hotel. So it was like an office. Right. That moved around the world. So we really got to know each other.
Yeah.
With, the day before the race, everyone's swimming in the pool the organisers provided. So you know each other. You're at the same cafe, the same hotel, the buffet breakfast. So we really got to know each other, and you form amazing friendships.
Yeah.
And I think with the Ironman in 70.3, it was the racing I missed and that kind of...
the camaraderie.
The bromance.
Well, that's really too. The bromance, because if you think about it, you go to your 70.3, there might be maybe 5 guys who potentially can win the race, right? And the next time you go to another 70 points, it's a different 5 guys.
Exactly. And you're homestaying, or it's a local race, so you're flying in a day before. It's not like you're racing in Australia, then 2 weeks later everyone's in New Zealand, so everyone's traveling together.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I love about this race is lots of people are coming 4 days, 5 days before. We're all staying in 2 hotels.
Yes.
We're all doing functions together. We're all riding together, and there's definitely that sense of excitement because people who haven't raced this format don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So there's that nervous energy, and then everyone that has raced it is thinking, "Oh my gosh, what have
we
I
know
let
how
myself
it's going to hurt.
for?" Yeah,
it's going to hurt.
And I think as I say, Pain in Paradise, it's a unique location to have this race. So I think all of that, this does remind me of my old ITU days, which it's fantastic.
So now you're a dad.
Yeah.
You're living in Boulder full time, so we'll call you American now. We own you now.
Oh, my son's American.
Oh,
He was born in America, in Boulder, Christmas Eve 2 years ago.
How fun is that?
Yeah.
So, what have you enjoyed about living in America full time? Or how tough has that been to adapt?
Yeah, I think it's tough, especially having young children with family. My parents live in Spain and my wife's in England. So, we do miss that support network that your brothers and sisters,
Sure.
and Matilda's aunties and uncles and whatnot, your grandparents provide. So, yeah, we have missed that. But in saying that, it's almost made us work harder at making friends and getting out there. And now Matilda's at school. My wife's made some great friends. And Leon Griffin, who's racing here today, give him a shout. He had a little girl 5 days ago.
No way!
Yeah, so
How fun.
Alice Heather was born. And his wife and my wife are the best of friends. And
they're in Boulder as well.
They're in Boulder, so yeah, they hang out a lot. And there's a few other people. And Barney used to live there.
Yes.
He's just moved to Texas. His wife as well has a young daughter, so similar age to Hugo and Harry, so they hang out. So, we've made so many great friends there, and, got a lovely school for Matilda. I'm happy with the training environment and the people I'm hanging with. And Boulder's unique. I've raced all over America, and sometimes it takes you off the beaten track.
Sure.
Like not many people would go on holiday to Des Moines. Well, I've been there maybe 7 times. And I did like it. I did like it.
Yeah,
don't get
that
me
high
wrong.
V race, yes.
And Boulder's a unique place. I've raced and trained in San Diego, all over the place. And, I think for the outdoor lifestyle, to go for walks, have trails on our doorstep, the parks are awesome. It's just, there's great swim clubs. There's loads of activities for our children. And, your priorities change. Richard Murray will be like, what? Where are the coffee shops? Where are the nice restaurants? And I'm going, shut up, mate. We're talking about soccer tots. We're going one-on-one swimming. Have you seen Matilda can breathe properly now? It's brilliant, and it's great for that.
I've got to go cut up the oranges and get the little juice boxes.
That's it, yeah. No, it's true. And my wife, actually, she's just taken on the cross-country club. She's running the cross-country club at my daughter's school.
How fun
so they're
is that?
doing a few cross-countries and stuff. So,
Love it.
I think we've settled there. We've been there 3.5 years, and we're looking to stay there. Well, yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Forever.
who knows?
Yeah.
No, we're very
Love
happy.
it. Tim, thanks so much for taking time. It's always so much fun to catch up with you.
No, it's a pleasure.
Tim Don has been our guest. Again, this is Bahamas with Bob. We're at the Island House Invitational Triathlon. This is day 2. Hold on, everyone. We will be right back.